Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Now the last video that I just did, if you haven't seen it before, I'll link it up here for you. But in that video I reviewed the GreenWorks 1700 PSI 1.2 GPM pressure washer unit that I got from Lowe's. It sells on Lowe's.com for $79. I don't know if that's a sell price. I think somewhere between $79 and $99. Great little unit. Again, that review I linked. Go check that one out. It's a great little unit for the price. Now, when I was at Lowe's, they also had this whole setup here that's a little kit. So you get a pressure washer that they rate at 1800 GPM, or sorry, 1800 PSI, but instead of this 1.2 GPM, this one drops down to 1.1 GPM, which makes me think that they're just changing the orifice size of the nozzle to get a higher rating with a lower GPM. In the 1700 PSI video, I tested it with a smaller orifice and I was able to get 1850 PSI, but it dropped the GPM to 1.125 as opposed to the 1.2 that I was getting with the nozzle that they give you. So I'm thinking that they just dropped the size of the orifice in this nozzle, so that's gonna put us that to 1800 at 1.1. Now, on top of that, you do get a floor scrubber, which is nice. And then that's pretty much it, because with the other one you get the little soap canister as well and everything else. Everything else is the same. Now as you can see here, it says $178 value. That confuses me quite a bit because to me it's showing it's $178 value, right? That's how much stuff is in there that it would equal $178. Well, this thing costs 178 bucks. So I don't know if they're saying that that value, it would actually be more if you bought it separately. Now I did look up this pressure washer on its own, the 1800 1.1, and they do have it for sale for $149. So that would put the floor scrubber, floor cleaner thing at about 30 bucks. All right guys, so I've got a little update for you. I actually filmed this video about a week ago and I'm just getting to editing it now and getting it up. Again, it was $178 in Home Depot. It was $178 on their website. I even talked to the cashier. I was like, hey, why is it shows $178 value, but it's 178 bucks, but that's what it was on the website as well. I just checked again right now because I was going to put a screen capture of it in the video. And now it is that one right there. And it shows $178 crossed out $99. So it is now $99, which does change things. That's a good value. So now you're getting that 1800 PSI 1.1 pressure, 1.1 GPM pressure washer for 99 bucks. Continue to watch the video though, because the other one, the 1700 PSI pressure washer is only 79 bucks. And I do compare these two to see which one I like better. But regardless, even with that one, and then you're getting the floor cleaner, which is a $30 value. So you would be at 110 versus the 99 here. So keep that in mind, but back to the video. It does say bonus 11-inch surface cleaner, which is this guy, and soap applicator included. Well, that's a little bit deceiving because the 1700 unit, the regular pressure washers come with that anyway, so it's not a bonus. So anyways, let's find out if this thing is a good value or if it's not at all, and which is kind of what I'm thinking. But let's go ahead and open it up and test out the pressure washer and look at the quality of the floor cleaner, and let's see what we think. Hey guys, so let's get this guy opened up. As always, let's go ahead and just pull all the stuff out and see what we have here. First things first, right on the side is the surface cleaner. So I do want to open this guy up. It looks very, very similar to the Craftsman floor cleaner, which actually did a really good job, but they're not the best built. So I'm gonna link a video right up here for you guys of the Craftsman floor cleaner, and it's a very, very similar build. So you do have a nice brass fitting, and it rotates nice, it's on a good bearing. However, this whole connection point up here is all plastic, and on my Craftsman, that failed on me on my first unit. I opened it up out of the box, that was spraying out of there, which means all my pressure was gone. I had to go return it and get a different one. So I think as far as these floor cleaners go, I think they're good. I think as long as you take care of them and aren't going super aggressive with them, they do a great job. Now this looks like the exact same construction as the Craftsman, so I'm not gonna play around with this too much. I'll link that video if you guys are interested, go check that out. But this is basically the exact same thing. The only concern with it is the build quality, but again, I think if you're just careful with them, they should be fine. The first one that I got, like I said, did leak. I think that's a fluke.
But keep that in mind. And yeah, as far as the floor cleaner goes, it seems like it's a cool little piece. Is it worth buying a $178 kit? I don't think so, because you can get that thing for about 30 bucks on its own. All right, now we will continue and open this guy up. Again, same exact soap dispenser as the 1700 unit. Again, I don't recommend these. I do like it better than an onboard soap tank, but it's not an actual quality foam cannon. So I would recommend getting a foam cannon because you're gonna get way thicker foam. This is just gonna spray wet soap. So not the best, but foam cannon would be a better choice. Then we have an instruction manual, probably warranty card, things like that. Pressure washer wand, exact same one as the 1700 PSI unit. It's just a push in, sit it down, and then twist it. Now it's all secure. Nice solid trigger. It's an M22 by 14 connection point. It does have the locking mechanism here. If I can flip it down, there you go. So now they call it a safety, but just that way if your kid gets a hold of it and tries to use it, it's not gonna spray and hurt himself or herself. And on the end of it, it does have a quick connect, which is nice. Alrighty, so then we have our 20-foot pressure washer hose, and it's the same quality as the other one that came in the 1700, and it's terrible. It kinks very, very, very badly and stays there. So this is definitely a throwaway hose. I wouldn't even deal with messing with this thing. It's too short and it's pretty bad quality. Definitely upgrade it to an Uberflex hose. That's my hose of choice. 50 feet long, super pliable, right around 45 to 50 bucks, but it makes your life so much easier and makes working with your pressure washer so much better. I will be testing this pressure washer with the Uberflex hose, so you'll see that in a minute. All right, let's go ahead and pull the unit out itself. And one last thing, it does come with a turbo nozzle. And here it is, guys. So right off the bat, right on the side, on the back here, it's the exact same as the 1700 unit, 1700 PSI unit. Same exact construction. The only thing that's different is the color. And I think that's probably an indicator that it is the exact same unit and they just changed the color. And possibly the orifice size of that nozzle I just flicked over there. All right, so here it is. Again, I can't remember off the top of my head, the 1700 PSI unit either got 15 or 1600 PSI with this factory nozzle. So we'll test that. And then I also switched it to a Ryobi nozzle that has a smaller orifice, and it got 1850 PSI basically. So we'll see what those numbers are. This is probably the exact same unit as that one. If it is, guys, don't buy this kit. Just buy the cheaper 1700 PSI unit, and then if you want the floor cleaner, get that separately. And you're able to do that, plus get the upgraded hose, and you're in for the same price. So that's definitely the better choice. Again, with this one, it is a nice colored green. So you can get the Flexzilla hose as well. Flexzilla is the same exact hose construction as the Uberflex. It's just a nice bright green, so it would match this really well. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and point out a couple of features really quickly, because this is gonna be repetitive from that 1700 PSI one. But you have the on-off switch right on the top with a little green LED to let you know when it's on. M22 by 14 millimeter connection point for your high pressure hose, and a standard water inlet. This is standard size if it's your regular garden hose to come in. I do like that it's on the opposite side, so line in here, line out here, nothing's getting tangled up. And that's pretty much it, guys. So, and then 35-foot power cord with the GFCI ground fault plug on it. So we're gonna go and hook this thing up now and just test it out and see what kind of numbers we're getting. Like I said, I have a big suspicion that it's gonna be the exact same as the 1700. So let's go find out. Alrighty guys, so we've got the unit plugged in right there. I just purged out the water. Water is on and flowing through the machine, so I'm just letting the air get out of the hose. And I'm gonna go ahead and fire it on and we'll test this out. Once again, nice and quiet, just like the 1700 PSI unit. All right guys, I'm gonna go ahead and test this. All right, so with this one, we are getting 1600 PSI. So I'm gonna go ahead and change over to that Ryobi nozzle again and test that. Again, the 1700 got either 15 or 1600 PSI, so I'm pretty sure this is the exact same unit and they just branded it differently. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the Ryobi nozzle and see what we get. With the 1700 PSI 1.2 GPM unit, we got 1800, just under 1850 PSI. So we'll see what we get with this one. All right guys, so here it is. I'm just gonna plug it in and we'll check. All right, so this one is actually only getting up to about 1700 PSI with this nozzle. Yeah, so 1700 PSI with the Ryobi nozzle. Now the 1700 PSI unit was getting more than that. So I don't really know what's going on. But regardless, this is not 1800 PSI. We're not getting that even with the Ryobi nozzle. So I would say don't buy this kit, just buy the 1700 PSI unit that I reviewed previously and get the aftermarket parts that you want. That's gonna be a better value for you. Really quickly, I am gonna check the GPM of this unit. Again, with the 40-degree nozzle, we got on the 1700 PSI unit, we got 1.2, a little over 1.2 GPM, and with the Ryobi nozzle, we got 1.125 GPM. So we'll see if it's the same or if it's less. And if it's less, I'd be shocked, but let's find out. All right, guys, so same test as always to check the GPM. Just gonna hook it up into the bucket for 1 minute and we'll know what the water flow is per 1 minute. I have the 40-degree factory nozzle in. We'll set up the timer. And here we go. Alrighty, so there's our 1 minute. Last time we were just under 5 quarts. And this one, it's less. So we're at 4.5 quarts, which I know is 1.125 GPM. So it's accurate on the GPM rating, but that's unfortunate because we're still not getting the PSI out of it. So it's actually performing worse than the 1700 PSI unit. I'm gonna go ahead and empty this out now. We'll test it with the other nozzle. It seems to me, because we're getting such similar numbers on the PSI, it seems to me that they did give you a smaller orifice size, which is why we're getting less water. But we're not gonna be able to up the PSI. So I would assume that our gallons per minute rating with this nozzle is gonna be the same as with the Ryobi nozzle. So let's test that and see, and if that is the case, we know that they did give us a smaller orifice, but it didn't help with the PSI, it just ruined the GPM. So let's take a look. All right guys, so we've got the Ryobi nozzle in now. In the bucket, get my stopwatch ready, and here we go. Alrighty. Yeah, we're about the exact same number, 4.5 quarts. So the orifice sizes are basically the same. It might be slightly off, and that's why we got a tiny bit more pressure out of it. But overall, performance-wise, the 1800 PSI 1.1 gallon per minute that they sell for $150 on its own, or $178 in this little bundle kit, is not performing as well as the 1700 PSI 1.2 GPM that sells for between $79 and $99. So there's your answer, guys. Go buy the other unit from GreenWorks, the 1700 PSI unit, 1.2 gallons per minute. Great little unit. I'm really happy with that one. Yeah, hope that helps, guys. Hopefully you watched this before going after that kit. If you didn't, go return that one. Tell them that it doesn't get the numbers that it states, and swap it out for a new one. Thanks, guys. Hope that helps, and we'll see you on the next one.